I am so excited to be able to interview you as we kind of worked on a book together called Balanced Life. And
Yes, we did.
it's exciting. And before we talk about our book, I kind of wanted to know a little bit about you. You have a
My
interesting
father never
story.
had any more than a sixth grade education. So, and his father before him, my grandfather was a sharecropper also. And my dad was smart enough to know that education was the key to breaking the cycle of my senior year in high school, so to speak. Looking through the want ads and that kind of stuff to see what careers paid the most. And I saw the engineering then. So I followed that path and became an engineer, mechanical engineer.
Which we all kind of do. Even me, I lived a life of it was survival a lot of time, and you don't even think of passion. You don't even have the chance to look at passion. You're like, well, how am I just going to survive? How am I going to make it? So that was clearly not your passion, and you were doing this for about 16
That's
years.
after 16 years of watching the clock and going in at 7:30 in the morning, and next thing, oh yeah, what's my next break? Lunch. Look at the clock. Is it lunchtime yet? Then you come back from lunch. Is it time to go home yet? And when you evaluate your life from that perspective, you go, what am I doing? I'm trading my life, my time for money, and
That's true.
it's been doing something that I really wasn't passionate about.
And a lot of people
I
I
just,
find live to work instead of, working to live. And these
oh, definitely
systems
I've been
do
more
that
longer
to
than
you.
20 years ago. I decided to do what I really wanted to do: step out, trust in the universe, and do my passion, which has always been health and fitness. From the time I was a little kid, from the time I can remember, I've always read bodybuilding magazines, workouts. I was one of those kids that ordered the Charles Atlas stuff. This is dating myself, I know, but ordered the Charles Atlas workout stuff. So once I got into the personal training area and got my certifications, studied personal training, my life took on a new venture because I was doing my passion and I felt at home with myself. And
Now, let me
you
ask
know,
you a question. Was there a catalyst to saying, I'm done with what was there, or something that presented in your life? Just was there something I have to do something different? Or was it just flowed more naturally?
well, it was a catalyst. It was the company that I worked for when I was a mechanical engineer was a public utility company, and that was in our area, one of the most elite jobs because of public utilities at that time were the most stable forms of employment. Well, the company started having structured layoffs, and they were buying out people, were telling certain people to leave if you had a certain number of years and that kind of thing. And so, hey, I just volunteered to leave. I was like, you know what? Let somebody keep the job who really wants to be here. I'm going out and do my own thing.
Now, were
And
you scared? Were you scared to make
yeah,
that
I mean, it was,
transition?
it was, I've been contemplating uh, becoming a personal trainer for years, but it's kind of like you're standing at the door of an airplane, and you got your parachute and everything on, and you get ready to jump, and you stand there and you go, oh, well, will this parachute open? Well, am I going to hit the ground? Am I going to? And so all those fears come with making change, but along with making change, there's growth, and that's what we're here for. We're here to grow and become that person or that being that we were divinely created to be. And
Now,
you can't do it.
when you had when you were going through this transition, what was happening with people around you? Were they like, you invested all your money, time into engineering? I don't know if you still had to pay loans and training. And I'm telling you this because I'm in the, I guess you can say spa world. And people told me the same, why are you getting it? Become a dermatologist, blah, blah, blah. So you actually went through it, spent all the money. What were the reactions of people around you?
Oh, my family starting a personal training business. My older brother called me and he was like, "Are you
About
sure
the
this is what
recent
you want to
book.
do? I mean,
Um,
yeah."
Balanced life. Here we go. So it's exciting, balanced life, living life from within. And what got you to the place of saying, I want to write this book about, I wouldn't say spirituality, but top-down approach to being aligned with yourself and manifesting whatever you desire.
So, for instance, I built a personal training business with two silent partners who were the money behind my business. Built it into a very successful personal training business. As a matter of fact, we were looking at expanding into several different locations, and we had this issue to come up, and the two silent partners weren't silent anymore. They wanted to more or less run the business on their as they saw fit, and our business philosophies, kind of clashed. And so I said, you know what? If you want this business, you can have it. And I built 4 or 5 years of my blood, sweat, and tears into building a successful personal training business. So basically, I handed the business over to them. And at the same time, I was going through a divorce. So I got divorced at that same time. And just, it was like a perfect storm of things happening. And one of the closest people in the world to me, they turned their backs on me. So it was like I moved from my house that I've been in I don't know how many years, lost a marriage, lost a business, lost the best friend in the world, into a teeny apartment, and I sat on the floor for months. Well, a couple of months.
I haven't never even heard this story. Oh my gosh. Wow.
And so that was the lowest point in my life. And I'll never forget it. I stopped into a Starbucks. And I had to remember, I had $5 in my name. I stopped into a Starbucks. And I'm thinking, I've got $5. What am I doing buying coffee with it? But I bought a large coffee. And they gave me back the change, $2 or something maybe. And this voice said, put the change in the tip jar. And it stopped. I stopped in my tracks for a second and went, are you kidding me? For real. And it was like, it was just the same note, put the change in the tip jar. Trust me.
Okay.
And I put the change in the tip jar. And this was like mid-January, first to mid of January, and by October of that year, I had a waiting list of clients.
That is beautiful. Wow. Let me ask you a question. Do you know who Rumi is?
Yes, I know.
Do you like a lot of Rumi's quotes, sayings?
I love Rumi's quotes.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
Interesting enough, because I got to the point of no money as well, pretty recent, and Rumi talks about how this is actually a high level of ascension, and there is something to losing it all and what you gain and what it does to you, and that is the catalyst. And you hear a lot of these quotes, is like sometimes you lose everything before you gain everything. Well, what was interesting, I want to tell you on my side, because I don't think you even know this, we have been only once on Skype, we got to see each other's faces, and for 1.5 years we've been working on the book, and I think maybe we've talked on the phone another 2-3 times, and maybe done a couple of interesting sessions, which we'll talk about a little later. But yeah, it was amazing how we connected. I've had some really bad partnerships, business things, so I was almost a little afraid. I dreamt of a book, and not of a book, but book of my life. So I always, whenever I think of where I want to go in life, I'm always like, how would I write my story? And if I do it in that perspective, usually I make better decisions. So you came in at a time when I went through my lowest time, and I was just like, universe, I'm doing everything in the world to get this message out. No one's hearing me. Like, why is this happening? I remember falling to the ground. I have the scar on my knee till this day on the right side, and I fell to the ground, and I said, I'm giving up. you figure this out for me. I can't do this anymore. That was around the time you came in with take
this
philosophy,
offer.
we take science, we take religion, we take spiritual. We've connected all the dots together. What is your key message you want to, if you had to in a few sentences, just be like, this is my main message, what would it be?
Well, yeah, I think it's said in the closing of the book, in the conclusion. Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. So to me, that means if you seek your purpose, your inner self, your inner truth, you don't have to worry about being supplied for, because you always will. The path will be laid out for you, and if you take the path, you'll be happy, you'll be fulfilled, you'll be successful.
We talk a lot about the universal laws. We talk about healing modalities. You talk about fitness. You talk about food. All these things matter in a sense, to be aligned in a lot of ways.
Really, I didn't write it. It kind of flowed. I was a channel through which the universe used to put those words on paper.
True. Same thing happened to me with the book. I think I think I was the last one who was putting my piece into it, actually. But I was thinking about what to write, and things flowed in my head for 2 weeks. I didn't even write anything on paper. And then literally 2 days, and it was done in about, I think, 1 or 2 hours for each of those days. Yeah, so I'm really excited. And then I just started editing. Where we're going with this book, we're in different parts. I'm in Canada, you're in the US, you're on the other side, I'm on the other side. So it's miraculous to see how we both ended up meeting this way, and we'll see where it goes.